Hello, everybody! Welcome to Starting Lineup for Round 3. The WrestleMania edition is back with Andrew the Anvil Wiebe. I'm your host, Jason Seguini. Andrew, Jermain Defoe against the DC United defense this Saturday. Are you biting?
Hook, line, and sinker, Jason. Look, they are slow on that back line. They had a week to figure out the kinks. I don't think they'll do it against Jermain Defoe. I think he's getting a couple goals. And why am I the Anvil and you didn't even get a name? That's not right.
I'm not a big fan of like self-appointed nicknames.
Okay,
so it'll have
let
to
us
come
know.
over
Comment
time.
section.
All right, a lot of questions coming in about injuries, so let's get to a few notes here. Starting with Javier Morales, and word is he should be good to go by the weekend. He trained for 60 minutes yesterday. That was their goal. They're going to work him up to the weekend. Andrew, how about an update on the Colorado injuries?
Well, 3 guys there. Number 1, Clint Irwin. He is still going to be questionable with that quad strain. Did not play last week against New York. It's still up in the air. Burner did well. I would not start Clint Irwin. Moving on, Chris Clute. He needs to be out of your team right now. Out a couple weeks with that hamstring injury. Mark Birch may be someone to bring in for him. And finally, Dylan Powers. I think we were all a little bit scared when he got hit in the head with that elbow last week, and a lot of blood there. No concussion symptoms, though. He feels good. He should be in the lineup.
All right, also Kellen Rowe hopes to be good to go by the weekend, according to Jeff Lemieux at the Revs. DeVio, Romero, Pelletieri, and Nyako are your suspensions this week. For now, stay tuned to MLSsoccer.com for the results of the Disco reviews. And now, to the fan questions, and we start with Gary, who asks, should I replace Robbie Keane because of CCL, and if so, with who?
Well, I think you should replace him, but not because of CCL. It's because he has buys in 4 and 8. Productive against Tijuana, but look, if you're going to hold on for golly, maybe hold on to this weekend. After that, you probably want to move on at least for a little bit. Some guys to go with, I said it, Jermain Defoe, he's a great play. Do watch out, though, he has buys in round 8 and 10. And then you have some options there. Federico Higuain, he's a must-buy for a lot of people, myself included. And if you're looking for bargains, check out João Plata, maybe check out Cubo Torres. Both those guys, good options for far less money.
All right, if there was one player I'd keep in my lineup for this weekend, it would be Robbie Keane. Because RSL's backline is going to be depleted without Schuler, Watson Siribu, and now Aaron Mound is banged up as well. If Salcido, he's a good young player. If he's in there, I think Robbie Keane is going to win that battle. But keep in mind, you need to get rid of Robbie Keane because he has a bye next week.
Yeah, moving on from Jaime, not impressed with his back line. Remick or Traore, one must go. Who's it going to be, Jason?
I think it's going to be Traore. He did not look good against Toronto, and he's not a big threat going forward on set pieces. So fantasy-wise, I'd lose him. He costs more money as well. Remick was more than solid in his first 2 starts, and even if Ziggy Schmidt says that Gonzalez is going to return as a starter, I'd keep Remick and see if he doesn't find some playing time or win his job back entirely. I'd rather have Yedlin than Traore. I'd also rather have either New York Red Bulls outside back than Traore, so feel free to get rid of him.
Yeah, moving on. Josh asks, to Nagbe or not to Nagbe? Was consistent last year but underperforming so far. Jason, what's the word?
I'm not sure what exactly that means, but I'll say this. The Timbers attack still finding their feet a little bit, but when you look a little further into the numbers, Nagbe hasn't been that bad. He was 1 key pass and 1 recovery away from a 5-point game in round 1, and then he was the guy who hit the shot that Gaston Fernandez scored on in game 2, so he's been involved. I think you can leave him in your lineup. He's going to produce some points eventually. If it's any reassurance to you, he's in my lineup.
Yeah, he's in my lineup as well. Look, he just hit the 50 straight start point, so he's not going to be on the bench. He will play and he will get going at some point. No buys for the Timbers this year. I would stick with him for now. Maybe move on if in a couple weeks he's still not getting it done.
All right, final one is from Ashley. Hey, the final one is from Ashley? If Ashley's a lady, she should have gone first.
Yeah,
This is a gentleman's show here. I got to teach you guys something.
You're the one reading the questions, so I kind of think that I'm blaming you. I mean, it's easy.
All right, Ashley, let's get to your question. She asks, sell or keep Valeri and Colin?
I think I would get rid of Valeri right now. I think there are better options out there. He's still kind of getting his feel, that attack. Not a great striker right now for him to go to. As far as Colin, look, stick with him. You saw him get the goal last week. He's a guy that's going to get points to you. That SKC defense were just a sliver, just the terrible play away from getting a shutout. I lost points on that. Probably you did too, but I think it's going to get it done in the next few rounds.
All right, I actually feel a little differently than him. I'm going to go Team Sagini on this one. Similar to Nagbe, I feel okay with Valeri right now. The only reason I would trade him out is to bring in an Higuain, Defoe, Henry, another big name attacker until Portland's attack starts clicking. As for Colin, he's got a week 6 bye, and with CCL, they could rest him in a game potentially, like the one in round 4 against Colorado, at Colorado, I should say. So I wouldn't try to talk you out of trading him now, but I love Kansas City's schedule after the bye, so prepare to get him back in your lineup. All right, that's all the questions we have. Now for the top players from starting lineup league in round 2. Ryan Wolf leading the pack. Team Upper V with 85 points. And tied with him, but not ruining my play on words there, is Dylan's Rose City Reds.
You forgot the lame in front of play on words. Third, Terry Ellsworth and Scousers United, 82 points ahead of me by, well, roughly 40.
Oh boy. All right, that's all we have for you guys this week. Good luck this weekend in your fantasy matchups and enjoy all the MLS action.